Hey! Happy Friday, everyone. Ira Coleman here, the founder of Fluent Hustle. I am here with Kevin Tedesco, the owner of BinRenew. This guy has a killer business. It's actually a really dirty business, but we'll get into those details in a little bit. Kevin, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I found Kevin through Instagram. I was going through the Fluent Hustle Instagram account, and my marketing team brought to my attention your business. Like, dude, you got to check this guy out. So I went through it. I looked at it, and this is super cool. We're able to connect. We don't really have much communication between other than just scheduling this. So this is going to be a first-time opportunity that I get a chance to meet Kevin, understand what he's about, and he's going to share his story of struggle, success, some advice they can give to the entrepreneurship community, and also be able to empower you if you're in a position that you're in a career, you might be in a transformation, getting into business, you might even be in business right now. But if you feel like you're complacent, he's got some words of advice he'll be able to provide for you. Super inspiring gentleman. So Kevin, again, he's the business owner of BinRenew here in Colorado. It is a local trash bin cleaning service. Cleanings, disinfects, and deodorizes bins. High pressure washing, while also having a key component within his business, which is to wastewater removal systems. So real quick question. Are you cleaning bins like this?
I can clean bins like this. That is maybe a little small on the side of what we're looking for.
Okay.
But generally, the trash bins that you have in your garage or on the side of your house, all week long, you're throwing trash in there. Once a week, trash company comes through, picks up the trash bin, dumps it in their truck, then they drive on their way. But what you're left behind with is a nasty, gross trash bin.
Yeah.
So we see we can help out with that.
Man, I live in an apartment here downtown Denver, and I'm very fortunate that I can just take my trash, put it outside,
and it disappears.
And I bring the bin back in, and I keep it clean myself. But when I was younger, my grandmother lived in the city of Chicago, and I have to go down the gangway to the alley and open up the bin.
Gangway.
Yeah. So it's like
sounds dangerous.
Yeah, well, Chicago gangway, but it's a sidewalk through the backyard, right?
Yeah.
And I have to go through the alley and open that thing up, and city of Chicago, I mean, for lack of intents purposes, they didn't really keep up with the cleanliness of the alleys, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember just having to open that thing up, and it was just disgusting.
Yeah.
And just many years, and the only way we have to clean those is the duty I do over the summer, right? So summer, hot, humid, is to get a hose and spray that thing down. So
do it without throwing up.
Yeah, it was difficult. It was definitely difficult. So
yeah, our system it's seamless. It's hygienic, it's clean. I can dress like this and I can go out and do my job and run that truck and I don't get dirty. It's intended for that purpose.
Awesome. How long have you been in Colorado?
Been in Colorado since 2002.
Okay, and where were you before?
Before that, New York.
Really?
Yeah, with some time in Georgia in between there. I was in the military.
All right. Well, I was born in upstate New York, Troy, or Albany specifically. But
I'm originally from Jamestown.
Okay, awesome. Look at that small world right here.
Yeah, small world.
Good stuff.
We know what snow is.
Yeah.
We know what snow is.
Yeah. The Northeast definitely brings a lot of snow. Chicago brings. I mean, they're getting hammered right now in Chicago with a big snowstorm. They actually shut down the city. And the schools and the zoo, I believe, out there.
Temperatures. Oh yeah.
So tell me real quick before we get into understanding who you are. Who are your ideal clients?
My ideal clients, somebody asked me recently, somebody in business who I admire very, very much, a realtor. He asked me, "Who's your ideal client?" And I had to sit back and think on that because for the longest time I thought, "Gosh, my ideal client is anybody that's willing to come be a client." But there really is an ideal client, and I think it's great if you can mold your business around that and being there for your ideal client. And I started thinking about that, and it's anybody that truly values what I do. If they value what I do and what the service provides them, that becomes referral business.
Okay.
Becomes referral business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to market to somebody that doesn't want our service. I don't want to introduce our service to somebody that doesn't think of the value. My ideal customer is somebody that I can walk up to, shake hands with, have a cup of coffee, and they appreciate and they see some value with what we do for them.
That's solid. So guys, if you're watching this, Fluent Hustle, go to your Facebook page, go ahead and like it. We're both going to do it right here. If you haven't liked Fluent Hustle yet, go ahead and do so. Which if you're watching this, probably you're good to go. But what I want you to do is go to the live stream, and I want you to share it. Oh, so we're gonna click on share.
Turn my volume down.
Yep. And I want you guys to share this real quick. It would be greatly appreciated. So that way we can get more people involved to hear the story that Kevin's going to be sharing with us about his business, who he is, and the insight that he can provide to helping other individuals out there in the business community to become inspired to do what they're doing. So I'm going to go to click on share.
I'm just getting the scrolling circle going and going and going. Oh,
there you go. And then so you either share on your business page for sure, and then also share on your personal page. And then I'm going to type in right now Fluent Hustle Live with BinRenew. So that's BIN. One word, but the BinRenew is how you're going to find it on Facebook. So that's how I got it right there. Fluent Hustle Live with BinRenew. And then I'm going to go ahead and post that so that way it can go out through my personal network and friends and other people who probably are tired of me banging them on social media, but that's okay because we're trying to help out Kevin here and getting some more exposure with his business. So again, Fluent Hustle is a community where we're here to promote, support, and advance individuals and businesses by raising their standards. We're doing this by getting stories such as Kevin's that he's going to be able to share with you to be able to make a difference here in the community. I believe that the more stories that we can get from individuals that are truly doing it every single day, they're in the grit and the grind, they're out there hustling to make a difference for themselves and their business and their purpose overall, that all of us can be more inspired and find that as knowledge to take into our own toolbox to utilize out there in our own business. So stay tuned. We're going to continue to make this happen. Are we done with that?
I'm still trying to figure out how to.
All right. So
you want to type it for me?
Yeah, I got you.
There
So
you go.
he's playing hanging out with Fluent Hustle. So you do the little @ sign.
Okay. I'm getting a little lesson here. This is good.
Let's see. There it is. So you do the @ sign, and then you type in the rest without the separation of @ and then it'll tag the name. So some of you have to kind of type it a little bit slow.
Gotcha.
But boom, hit the post, and there he is.
Cool.
All good
There
to
we
go. So Kevin, you mentioned New York. You went down to Georgia, and you said you were in the service. Is that what you mentioned?
I was in the Army.
Okay.
They had me in Georgia for a little while. Columbus, Georgia. From Columbus, Georgia, the Army moved me to Colorado. Once I got out of the Army here in Colorado, there's no way I could leave. It's a beautiful state.
It is a beautiful state.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I appreciate your services, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
You might type in a little bit like what you did in the Army.
I was in infantry.
Okay.
So I was a ground pounder, so to speak, and spent some time in Iraq after that.
Wow.
Yeah. When I came back from Iraq, my time was up, and I was getting out, looking for something new.
Yeah.
Wanted to stay in Colorado and found that, coincidentally, there was job openings in law enforcement at the same time I was getting out of the military.
Awesome.
And that was my next step.
So you went from the military, law enforcement, and then you got into doing a dirty job.
Cleaning trash bins.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sports.
It's played sports in high school.
Yeah?
Yeah. Played football and baseball.
Okay. Are you skiing and snowboarding out here or no?
I'll tell you what, skiing. I'll tell you a story about skiing.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I was in what's called, back in New York, we had ski club.
Okay.
In high school.
Cross country skiing?
Downhill.
Yeah.
Downhill skiing.
Downhill. Okay.
So you load up a bunch of teenagers on a school bus and you go to the ski slopes on a Friday night. And that was the extent of my skiing. Last year, my wife Whitney and I decided, hey, I haven't been on skis in 20 some years.
Wow.
She snowboards periodically here and there.
Was she native to Colorado?
No.
Okay.
No, she's from New Mexico.
Okay.
New Mexico. So, but she's been.
Hey, Whitney, if you're watching this, we just want to give you a quick hello, shout out. You got a great man by your side.
You're missing out today. We should be here with us.
Was she supposed to come?
She would have liked to.
Oh, okay.
She has her work to do.
Well, we'll find another opportunity, Whitney, to catch up with you. Thank you very much for everything.
Yeah. So we decided last February to go skiing, and it was awesome. We had so much fun. Yeah. I had a blast. And
20 plus years since you've done it.
It's been 20 some years. Yeah.
How many times you fall and bust your ass?
I didn't fall, but I didn't fall because I was babying it. I didn't go crazy.
Okay.
But it was funny because we both put the Facebook post skiing, and we're all skiing, and I'm skiing in jeans and a fleece jacket. I looked like an idiot
Wow.
out there skiing in jeans, but yeah, we
Hey,
had
you
a
went out
blast.
there though. I mean,
Yeah, we had a blast, yeah.
I wouldn't say I've seen anyone that extreme wearing jeans out there skiing before. So hey,
Yeah.
it's the first time for everything.
Especially the Winter Olympics going right now. I didn't look like anyone. I didn't look like any of them.
Have you been out there this season?
Not yet. We keep talking about it. We don't know if there's enough snow.
Yeah, well,
is there enough snow?
I'm an epic local ski pass,
Yeah.
but I have not been out snowboarding once this season.
Oh, really?
One was because I had hurt my knee last season, and I've been kind of reluctant to get back out there. But then there's no snow going on. But hopefully they'll get a good pounding of snow this weekend. I think it's supposed to snow tonight out there, but definitely tomorrow it's supposed to be like 20 degrees out here in Denver, but out in the mountains it's supposed to be like 5 or something like that. So pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
if they're making snow, that's good.
Yeah.
We can get out there.
So, guys, check out, what's the website?
BinRenew.com.
BinRenew.com. Go check out BinRenew.com. If you want to, go ahead and make a comment for a question you might have for here with Kevin. We like to at least try and get your questions answered. If you don't have any questions, just kind of tune in with us and get a good sense of what Kevin has to say to us, okay? So here's what I really want to know is, like, this show is about inspiring entrepreneurs, ideally. But if you're a student, if you're a teacher, or if you're a parent, we're trying to help individuals raise their level of standards overall, right?
Sure,
And find a higher level of achievement. But let's focus on the business aspect of things. At what point did you make that transition from, being in the Army, being Colorado State deputy, to then getting into to say, hey, I'm going to go work on this business concept I have? Like, how did you come up with it? And at what point were you like, I need to make the transition to jump into what you're doing now?
Well, as far as the business concept goes, I had a lot of associations in relationships from the military. And coincidentally, my wife's, a relative of my wife had started a similar business, a trash bin cleaning business in Texas, in the state of Texas. I started doing a little research into it, and there was nobody here doing it. There's a company up in Fort Collins that does it. I've gotten to know him quite well.
Okay, good. Well, we're not going to say their name, but they're friends at least.
Yeah, we're friends. We have a great working relationship. We don't compete with each other.
Yeah.
Geographically, we're displaced enough.
Right.
We help each other.
That's
we don't hurt
good.
each other.
Collaboration right there, guys. If there's one thing that I just picked up on right now, if you're in a similar market, even if you're direct competitors, collaborate with one another. There's a lot to learn from your competition. I think everyone wants to be number one, but we all want the tall building, as Gary Vaynerchuk would say. But I just want my building to be a little bit taller, but I want his building to be just as tall as well, right?
And the theory with that, especially if you're looking at the business aspect, if you're looking at your competition as a detriment to your business, then you're competing against yourself.
Yeah.
You're not helping yourself at all, and you're not helping your customers. We all want to provide the best service and the best product for our customers. If that's only dependent upon what you believe is your best product or your best service for your customer, you're not going to advance.
You'll be narrow-minded,
Right.
and your blinders are on.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're never going to provide the service that they truly deserve if you're only providing them the service that you believe they're deserving.
Right.
So your competition helps you. Especially if you collaborate with your competition, the end result, the end product, the work product is better.
Right.
It's a better product. Everybody's also trying. You're always looking for a way to add value to what you do. If your competition increases their level of service or increases their work product,
you have to as well.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to as well. And if that just keeps going, the next thing you know, the customers can rightfully expect a better result.
That's awesome. And then at the end of the day, it's all about the customer. So if the customer is getting better service between competition, right, the customer is always winning. And I think that's the mindset we have to have, is like allow the customer to always be in a position to win. It needs to be fair on both sides,
Right.
but you always want to try and push that envelope further and further ahead to allow the customer to win on a regular basis. So family member down in Texas, right?
Yep.
Already had a bin cleaning service. You're doing some research, realized that there was definitely a need up here in Colorado.
It started with my wife and I sitting around our phones, looking at the internet and stuff, and she said, "Hey, look at this." That's how the business started. My wife saying, "Hey, look at this," referring to her relative that had started the business, and I'm like, "Wow, that's neat." And a couple days later, because I'm an idiot, I eat oatmeal for breakfast a lot. because I try
to eat healthier.
Try to be healthy. So
still cut or just regular grain?
Still cut.
There you go.
Not the whole old stuff. No way. So because I'm an idiot, I disposed of and I dumped the oatmeal in the trash can. In the trash can.
Like this one
not
right here?
Like that one, like the wheeled one that you bring out to the curb.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, not in a bag. And everybody knows if you throw trash in your trash bin and it's not in a bag, you're going to be in big trouble.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be in big trouble. So
I get notifications just doing that in my apartment building. They're like,
yeah. Well, I got
have the bag, tie it up, and then
I was notified.
Over some oatmeal.
Yeah. Well, oatmeal in a trash bin in the heat, no less. You're going to upset some people.
That's brutal.
So I was informed that I dumped oatmeal in the trash bin and it now stinks. So I have two solutions to that. I can either try to hide the fact that I did that, but it's too late. I already got caught.
Yeah.
Whitney already knew. Or I can clean it and fix the problem. Well, open the trash bin. I take a look inside. No way.
Wow.
I'm not cleaning that.
Yeah.
So I remember hearing about her
personal story right here, right?
Personal, yeah.
So
personal need.
So this is a personal need from a business concept to then like make that transition and say, hey, like this might be possible for me to be able to make it happen.
Yeah. Listen to your needs. Listen to your friends' needs and your relationships' needs. Find out what they're not getting out of life. If they're not getting something out of life, can you provide that?
Right.
Or do you have a resource that can provide
that?
That's what business is. That's how service businesses especially originate.
Sure.
So I needed my trash bins cleaned. They were terrible. I started looking on Google and whatnot and tried to find who could come and clean my trash bin. And I was running into dead ends and short of snagging up somebody on the street and asking them, hey, will you come clean my trash bins? There's nowhere to look. There's nowhere to go. So I realized that there was a market shortage. But what I did start to realize is that because there's a market shortage, I could be that guy.
Huge opportunity right there. So you went from saying I needed my trash bins clean because no way am I going to do this to now being that guy.
Being the guy.
That's doing it.
Being the guy. All my customers, they come to me and they love it and they say, I didn't even know this existed. First thing in my mind is up the marketing. Got to up the marketing, right?
Yeah.
So, but also that's good because our relationships will help foster that.
So how long you been in business now?
What month is this?
I think we're in February.
Then 1 year. It'll be 1 year this year. Or this month, I'm sorry. 1 year.
Congratulations, 1 year.
Thank you.
1 year in.
Yep, February 19th.
They say the first year is the hardest year.
I can't disagree with that.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
It's always a struggle.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, you're a few days away from what you said, 19, so 10 days away from having your anniversary. I'll make sure I give you an anniversary shout out for you.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this. In your first year, what trials and tribulations did you face early on? And looking back, like were those really trials and tribulations or just small setbacks that you had to kind of just like maneuver around? And are you still facing some of those today?
That's a great question. Trials and tribulations. For my industry, one of the trials and tribulations is naysayers. There's always going to be the person that says, can I just dump the trash bin over, stick a hose in there, and clean it that way?
Right.
Well, the differences between can and should. You can do that, but you can also cook your own steak. You can mow your own lawn. There's a lot of things you can do for yourself. The service industries are full of things that you can do for yourself, but you'd rather not.
Right.
Simply rather not. But also, and I try to steer away from the aspect of, well, you shouldn't clean your own trash bin because you're going to dump that byproduct out on the street.
Right.
You dump that byproduct out on the street. That violates the Clean Water Act.
Yep.
EPA guidelines and regulations.
We're talking about environmental safety right here to ensure that we all have clean water.
It's funny. Whitney saw, we were walking through downtown Castle Rock one day, and Whitney saw.
Is that where you're from?
Castle Rock.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. She saw on the grate, the storm door grate, or storm drain grate, I'm sorry. It said, no dumping. This routes directly to the waterways. And there was a logo of a fish. And one of our sons, he's an avid fisherman. And we both immediately thought, and she said, don't dump dirty, nasty trash in there. Fish will hate you.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's kind of funny.
Fish will hate you guys.
Fish will hate you.
And Colorado's big on fishing.
Yeah, don't be
it's
don't be a fish eater.
yeah, we don't need that. So So naysayers was one of the issues that you dealt with. This is still on, but I need to move up here because this actually happened last time. Sorry, guys. So one is naysayers. What was your other like hurdle that you had to kind of like work around?
Well, getting the information out there that the service exists. It's a two-pronged challenge for us because we are trying to gain the recognition of the service itself and the value of the service, and then customer acquisition above and beyond that. So everybody knows that landscapers exist. Everybody knows that plumbers exist. If you need a plumber, there's no hesitation. You go on Google and you type in plumber and the area that you're in. If you don't know that a trash bin cleaning company exists, you don't know to Google for that. So our exposure in getting the service recognized and out there is a great hurdle.
Awesome. So, and the reason why I say awesome is because you make up a good point that if the customer doesn't understand the service is there and you're a service-based, organization that is coming into a new niche market, how did you get the attention of your customers moving forward? Like, were you knocking on doors saying, hey, your trash can smells and it's like July 2017?
In a way, we don't go door to door. I do have some folks that help me out with the direct marketing like that. But we have some postcards made up, and we use twist ties and we put them on the trash bins when the trash bins are out for collection. Ooh. We put some thought behind this.
That's good.
Yeah, I didn't want my folks walking up and knocking on doors and being confronted with the naysayers firsthand.
Yep.
I'd rather bear that brunt.
Yeah.
So the postcards they're pretty self-explanatory, and they're on there with twist ties, so they're easy to remove. Somebody said, I don't want you zip tying anything onto my trash can. I agree. I wouldn't want anybody zip tying anything onto my trash can either.
It seems permanent, right?
Right. We don't want to inconvenience anybody. We just want the word out there.
From a quick marketing perspective, though, like a twist tie is what most people used to use when taking their trash out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Before the bags had
before the ties to it built in. So you have a twist tie, and you have a card, and you're putting it at the point that the customer most likely needs your need. Right. Going to a mailbox, getting their mail is not when they need you.
Exactly.
Right. But going to the trash can, and they're like, oh, I'm dreading this, and they're like, hey, what's this postcard here? Twist tied to my trash can, my trash bin, and they're like, oh, so you hit them in an emotional spot right then and there.
Right then and there.
Was that intentional, or is that just kind of like?
It was very intentional.
Good.
Yeah, very intentional. And it stemmed from, of course, on any startup business, you're on a shoestring.
Yes.
Actually, price compared, how much would it cost me for direct mail marketing, and how much would it cost me to have these cards printed up by the thousands and pay some folks to walk around and twist tie them on there. It's cheaper. It was cheaper than direct mail marketing, believe it or not.
Wow.
And it keeps some money here.
Yeah.
I have some later teen years, 17, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. A couple of them go out with their mom or their dad. They do it together. A couple of them go out in groups. A couple 18-year-olds, they go out in groups. So it keeps the money here. I have about a half dozen folks that help out. So rather than the money going,
hey, those individuals that are helping out Kevin, they're walking through the alleys or walking to the curbside. We appreciate your help for helping him out. At the end of the day, it can be a grueling job to really beat the street like that. I mean, I was a paper boy.
Yes.
And my mom would go. She would take me to go pick up the papers. I have to bring them home. I have to fold them up, throw them into the bag. And then she would drop me off to my site, my location I had to go to. And then she put my bike in the back seat. And she would sit there and read a book or whatever, and I'd grab coffee while I hustled around my route. Yeah. Right. So, but you make a great point is like giving, the teens an opportunity to find some work. It's also outdoors. Right. I mean, like when I was a kid, like I didn't want to sit indoors like in a job position. And it's different, right? So
it very much so. And not just that, but it gives these younger folks, these kids, a reference and a resource.
Yeah.
So, they're obviously not going to want to do this for the rest of their life.
Right.
They're going to want to move up and move on. And everybody knows that your first jobs, that's a hard one. You don't have anything to fall back on. You don't have any references to go to. I promise all these folks that if they work hard and they do what's responsible, then I'm always going to be a reference or a resource for them.
That's awesome.
To help move on.
So three key points you mentioned. Naysayers, informing the market, right? Your potential customers didn't understand the service existed. So you had to figure out a way to become creative. And that's when you came with the postcards with a twist tie and putting on the bins itself. You just mentioned the shoestring budget. Now, I've done a little bit of research on your company. I don't think anyone else here that might have, might be listening in right now knows what it might have taken to kind of get to your point. But like the technology behind what you're doing, how many trucks do you have?
One truck.
One truck right now. So you have a fleet of one truck.
Right.
You're looking to grow that and expand it, down the road. Like, it's about capital. Like, how did you come up with the capital funding out the gates to make it happen, to make it possible for you to be where you are today?
I had multiple retirement funds from my previous career in law enforcement.
Okay.
And I cashed out one of them.
Well, okay. Wow.
So
big risk.
Big risk.
Big risk.
Big risk. Yeah.
One
of them.
Yeah. You kept it balanced, but still, like it's one third or 1/4 of them can be a major hit at the end of the day.
But you got to look what is your retirement is an investment.
Yep.
And if you're afraid to invest in your business, you're going to have to reconsider that.
You're going to be scared. Yeah, you're going to be scared to be in business at the end of the day. Like if you're scared to hold on to what you have going on because you don't want to grow it or take the risk, even possibly losing some of it or all of it.
Right.
You don't want to gamble, but you want to be very strategic, but also have the patience and understanding and the planning, so that way you can make sure that you don't fall back off that as well. So.
Right. When you're in business for yourself, you're all in. There's no other option other than all in. So if you can't invest in yourself, you can't expect somebody else to, and you can't expect one single customer to do it for you.
Did you try and go out and get and find funding elsewhere other than yourself right away, or did you say, "Hey, I know I got the resources available to me"? Was that ever on the table?
I explored the start of the Colorado Enterprise Fund.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
I am not, but speak about it. Speak about it.
Colorado Enterprise Fund. It's probably one of the best resources for startup companies, especially and small business in the state of Colorado. I'm not sure exactly how they work. I looked into it and realized I don't need it, not yet at the moment, but I was exposed enough to it to know that they are a strong resource especially for startup capital if necessary. Got to look them up.
All right. Colorado Enterprise Fund. Colorado Enterprise Fund. We will add that website, and we'll tag them in this video later on. So that way, if you're interested, if you're in Colorado and you're a business owner or you're looking to become a business owner and start a business, that could be a resource for you to check out. So I'll make sure that we'll definitely get that in place. So give everyone a behind the scenes explanation of like what your business is about, your day-to-day operations, and some of the challenges you're dealing with right now today.
Okay. Well, what we're about to clean the trash bins, obviously. What we're trying to do is we're trying to expose ourselves into broader markets, not just the individual customer on an individual basis, but the HOAs, service widespread communities, municipalities, if and when possible. So we're trying to break ground into that.
And we're going to make that happen. We're definitely going to put a little pressure on these municipalities and let them know that BinRenew and Kevin are going to be knocking on their door soon.
Yeah, and the first question they're going to ask is, how do we benefit from this? Well, as a municipality, you benefit because your homeowners aren't going to be using the abundance of water. Water is a resource.
Yeah.
Water is a
limited resource.
A limited resource, yes. The average homeowner, they try to clean their trash bins. They're using 12 to 18 gallons of water to clean a trash bin.
How often would you say that the average homeowner is cleaning their bins?
Most of my customers that I talk to, they say they do it 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay.
On the average.
Okay.
And coincidentally, we offer a quarterly package.
Yeah.
Which kind of
pairs out with that.
Works great with
that.
But
quick key point right there. So you said my customers. So you did some interviewing with your customers to understand their habits, what they're doing, and to pair your business with their current habits.
Yes.
So that way it's very seamless transition for them. You're not trying to disrupt their habits to do something more than they've already used to be doing.
And you have to do that as a business, especially as an intro business and in a new industry, especially. You have to find out what their true needs are.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to sell them what I think they need.
Right.
I want to sell them and offer to them what they know they need.
Right.
So something that they're already doing or something they want done.
Mm-hmm.
It's seamless then. But yeah, I'd say on the average, most of them are telling me 2 to 3 times a year. None of them are happy about doing it. And, again, with them using just under 20 gallons.
And what's the average time? An hour per time they're doing? I mean,
gosh, I would think, yeah.
Yeah, minimum, like an hour. So, I mean, if they're doing it, I mean, that's 3 hours a year that, like,
of gross.
They could be doing something else.
3 hours a year of trying not to vomit.
Right.
There's other things I do.
It's a dirty job. So what's your day-to-day operations right now?
Day-to-day, in the morning, I usually in meetings. Oatmeal, yeah, after the oatmeal, after the scrambled eggs and all that. I spend a lot of my time in the mornings networking, getting to know people. Business is all about relationship building, and it's not just the folks that can bring you business or bring you customers, but those people that can bring you advice, bring you a support system as well. I try to be as actively involved with the networking groups and affiliation groups that I'm in as possible. So that's the majority of my morning.
Okay.
In between that and actually providing the service that we provide, I'm reaching out to my customers. I'm making sure that we're meeting their needs. I'm trying to increase the marketing aspect a little bit, researching what can add more value to our service as well. And then usually around noon or so is when we start our routes. And a lot of people will ask, why do you start your routes so late? The reason we start our routes so late is because we follow the movements of the trash companies. We make this as seamless as possible. It's not that I don't want to interact with my customer. I want to interact with our customers, but I don't want that interaction to be while we're providing service.
Right.
Because I want that to be as effortless and as non-intrusive upon them as possible.
I gotcha.
So after the trash bins have been emptied by a trash collection company, our trucks, my truck will come through, me driving it usually, and some help if I have it, when I have it. And we clean the bins while they're still there, and then we dry them off, make them real nice, spray a little deodorizer on them, put a little blue piece of tape on there to signify that they've been addressed and taken care of. Not that the result isn't obvious.
Yeah.
And then we bring them up to the house and we move on our way. So
you actually clean them and then you bring it up to the house.
Value added.
Wow.
Value added.
So that's pretty cool.
It's a minor thing, but the customers, they tell me right off the bat, gosh, I'd pay you just to bring my trash cans back to the house some days.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out there, or I don't want to park the car as I'm coming home and get out and wheel them into the garage and all that. It's value added, so we do it. It's a minor thing. It takes minutes. Doesn't cost me anything. It's simple.
You might have another service offering that you can provide as an add-on, upsell, right?
There you go.
Hey, if you don't want to move your trash can, we'll drive back around every day for $5 and do it too.
Sure,
so.
yeah. There you go. Hey, everything's a possibility. But we have to wait till they're emptied.
Of course.
So we have to. We've got the movements down pretty well, and we shadow. We're a couple hours behind them.
Is it mostly based on your schedule or the customer schedule? Like, have there been customers who are like, hey, we only want you to come on this particular day, but you're like, that kind of interferes with the trash services and it's counterproductive.
The times it does happen is some folks. They know their trash is collected late. It's routinely collected late, 5, 6, 7 p.m. They don't want to wait for me. They'd rather just be done for the day, and we totally understand that. We coordinate with those one-on-one.
Okay.
And I put it in. We use a routing system that a lot of landscapers use. It goes in the routing system, and they're clean the following day.
That's awesome.
So we work with them on a one-on-one basis.
Good for you. So you talk about networking. I'm a huge networker, if you guys know. And it's, you're talking about building relationships. What kind of relationships have you built this past year, specifically within this business, BinRenew? And how has that been for the growth throughout the last 12 months?
Well, a lot of the folks I've reached out with are already successful business people, depending on the market that they're in.
Yeah.
And all of them have brought value to me in our relationship. I struggle and have to work hard at making sure that I return that value. Relationships are two-way. So, to give you an example, I'm in a relationship with a fellow business person down in Castle Rock right now.
Okay.
And he's brought a lot to the table. He's been in business for a long time, very successful. He's brought a lot to the table. And what I can offer him in return is a perspective.
Right.
And sometimes a perspective that maybe some other folks are apprehensive to introduce to him or to bring to him. just because
he's intimidating for his success that he already has in place.
Very possible. Yeah. That's that could always be. But what you need to stop and think about is they didn't get there on their own. Nobody got to where they are on their own. And even as somebody that has a big name or highly credible already, they don't forget that.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason, one of the ways they've stayed successful.
If they're humbled and they remember the people that helped them get where they are today, they're definitely going to have that same mindset and appreciation for others.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very much. So am I going in the right direction with the question?
Yeah, I mean, networking. Like, how important has it been for you? Throughout the last year, and what advice would you give to individuals that are apprehensive to get into networking? They might not have the personality type to get into networking, but intro
that way. Maybe you don't have some people don't have the personality to network because they're shy.
Yeah.
Start the conversation out with, "This is difficult for me because I'm shy."
Yeah, that's cool.
I think just being yourself, being yourself and getting out there and talking, shaking a hand and saying, "This is who I am."
Right.
That's what networking is that's this is who I am. This is what constructs me. This is where my mentality comes from.
That's very awesome that you say that, because if you step into a situation, especially from a networking perspective, you're like, "Hey, I'm shy. This intimidates me. This is a major challenge for me to get out of my comfort zone to show up." I promise you, people like Kevin are going to say, "Hey, come with me. I'm going to help you through this process."
Yes.
And they're going to hold your hand, and they're going to build that confidence for you.
Yes.
And that's what networking is really about. I think at the core of a human being, we all want to help each other out.
Yes.
And when we see individuals that are weak in their situation, someone who's stronger wants to go and pull that person to where they need to be moving forward. So that really sticks out to me. So I really appreciate you bringing that to your attention.
Yeah.
So be yourself. So my question is, year 2. It's happening in about 10 days.
10 days.
Right?
What's my plan for 10 days from today?
What should Colorado expect from BinRenew coming in the year ahead? And what challenges are you dealing with right now that you want our community to help you out with and bring attention towards?
That's a good question. So as far as my 6-month goals from a business standpoint, business perspective is I want to be more recognized within the communities that we serve, not just for the service that we provide, but where we have our hands, in what areas do we benefit the community aside from just our service.
And what areas are you serving right now?
Right now we service everywhere from all the way from Colorado Springs, the north end of Colorado Springs, all the way up to I-70. Okay. So Castle Rock, Parker, Centennial, Aurora, Denver itself.
Okay, good to know.
Littleton. Yeah.
Good to know. Well, we'll make sure that we get this video pushed out to those areas, so that way some of the homeowners, the HOAs, commercial and retail businesses can get in contact with you moving forward. So right now you're trying to spread your brand awareness.
Brand awareness, yes, and not just in our service, but what we're offering to the community as a whole. We don't want to just be the company or the business that goes out there and provides a simple service and receives a simple dollar in return.
Yeah.
We want to be out there and we want to be recognized as leaders and motivators to help what's going on in our communities.
Love it.
Start looking at the charity options. Start looking at one of our favorite things to do. I would rather donate our service to charities. It helps us. It helps the community. It helps everything as a whole, rather than.
Have you found a charity to do that for yet?
Our biggest charities so far have been silent auctions for schools.
Oh wow!
One of the networking groups that I participate in, one of the ladies in there, she's a real estate agent.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not a real estate agent. She's an insurance agent.
Okay.
And she has a strong standing in the schools as a contributor and as an assistant with some of their charity events and all that.
That's a great anchor. I mean, if you're doing cleaning services for the schools,
yes.
Now you're starting to tap into the parents,
yes,
who have homes. So
and who have needs, and
businesses.
Businesses, yeah. And if you offer something that benefits their children, and in the school that they're in, that's where networking starts.
That's solid. Beautiful. Kevin, thank you very much for your time. It's been phenomenal to have you here. Guys, help support BinRenew. Go to the Facebook page. We have it tagged in this video, or we will after this. Share it. Get out there. Get in contact with Kevin. How can people reach out to you?
Phone or email or the webpage. The webpage is seamless. You can do everything on there. But if you want to call and chat, call and chat.
All right, beautiful. So what we'll do is this one off again as I'm ending this. So what we'll do is we'll tag the webpage, www.binrenew.com. You're also on Instagram, right?
I am.
Get on Instagram. This is how we found Kevin and BinRenew was through Instagram. But before we end this, let's talk about social media, right?
Yes.
I've noticed that you've been doing some pretty cool things on Instagram. And are you like do you get social media, or are you kind of struggling with it, or are you dabbling? Like, what's going on? Like, what's that sentiment with?
We have teenage boys.
Yeah.
2 teenage boys as well as a 6-year-old daughter.
So your teenagers are mentoring you on that.
Yeah, he likes everything I put on there, and he's giving me some tips, especially. So,
Good.
I fumble through it,
Yeah.
and I just try to pay attention and figure it out. My wife helps me a lot, so my wife and I, we tackle it together.
Good. But you're trying your best to make it happen, and that's the key thing is, trying to find ways as a new business when you're in a shoestring budget is to get out there and just try and push content out there. And what I noticed is that he's taking selfie videos as he's doing the work, right? A humbling man doing the work, cleaning other people's trash cans and having fun with it.
Oh, it is fun.
Right?
It is fun, yeah.
So, but yeah, again, thank you very much for coming in. Guys, Fluent Hustle, please do your best to help support Kevin, his wife Whitney, and his family with their business. They've been in business for 1 year. Year 2 is going to be phenomenal for them. I'm going to try my very, very best that we promote them, we empower them, and hopefully you guys have been inspired. There's some great takeaways that I took notes on that really inspired me, so I really appreciate you providing some insight. And contact Kevin directly. Thank you guys for your time today. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Until next time, keep on hustling on. Take care, guys.
Have a good weekend.